If you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, then you know how extremely frustrating it has been to watch them this year. Aside from the fact that they completely fell off the face of the earth after the All-Star break, aside from the fact that everybody in the media says that they can't shoot threes and the team still decides to shoot 30 threes a game, whose fault is it? Who knows? Players, coach? I don't know. There's one player on the team that drives me crazy every time I watch him, and it's because he is not living up to his potential. This particular player should be averaging 25 points a game and 12 rebounds a game. And who is it? No, it's not Russell Westbrook. No, it's not Paul George, because Paul George is already averaging over 25 points a game. It's this guy. Now look, there are so many things that I love about Steven Adams. He does a lot of great things on the basketball court. He's a very disciplined player, and there's a lot of things that he's done off the court as well. And for that reason, a lot of people in the city of Oklahoma City love him too. They're very loyal to him. They would hate to see anything bad happen. They would hate to see him get traded. But I'm going to show you a couple clips of Steven Adams that just drive me nuts about the kind of player that he is. He is not adapting to today's NBA. And frankly, I don't know if he can adapt to today's NBA based on his style of play. Now, he'd be a great player to have on a team if he would just be a little more aggressive. And that's just the big issue that I have, is that he's a great disciplined player, but sometimes he just doesn't always bring the effort at the times that you need him to bring it. And with that being said, I'm going to show you based on these clips. Okay, so we're just going to start out by looking at some of the good things that Steven Adams does on the basketball court. This is just some film breakdown of the playoff series with the Portland Trail Blazers, games 1 and 2 on the road. And we're going to see that Steven Adams, he does the most of his production in the first quarter, and that's because the Oklahoma City Thunder, they almost always draw a play up for Steven Adams. He can score almost any time that he wants to because he's that strong, he's that big and dominant when he wants to be. The problem is that he's not aggressive and he doesn't ever call for the ball. So, first play of the playoff game. And we're going to see on this very first play of game 1, it's going to be a set play to Steven Adams. The pick and roll, he rolls to the basket, and the shot just doesn't happen to go because he's tripped up on the roll. Okay, this is the opening tip of game 2. Again, you're going to see it's going to be a set play to Steven Adams on the first play of the game. Russell Westbrook gets the ball. It's just going to be a different setup. Instead of Westbrook bringing the ball down on a pick and roll, they bring him up top, give him the ball. Steven Adams posts up mid-post, does a nice soft touch. This is back to game 1. Steven Adams started the game off fantastic in game 1. All they do, they're just going to keep feeding him the ball. He comes down, he posts up. Again, he has a nice soft touch. Just bullies in his canter. Thunder come down. Let's see, Steven Adams, again, it's going to be another pick and roll situation early on in the first quarter, game 1. Here comes the pick and roll. They just do the pick, they go to Westbrook, feed it to Adams. It's that easy. So, here we go again. The pick and roll. Early on, very next play, looks like. A nice soft touch around the rim. They overload to Westbrook, which I wouldn't because Westbrook hasn't proven to be able to shoot. They run a cross with the post, they give him the ball, and he just bullies in his canter who cannot guard him. And they almost get the steal, and he just pushes his way in. It's just a power move. And this just is the fast break, just showing that he has a nice soft touch. Okay, we're here in game 2 in the first quarter. Okay, we saw it's 2-0. Steven Adams got those first 2 points. Oklahoma City comes down. I don't think it's the next possession, but their next scoring possession, it's another setup play for Steven Adams. He sets a pick for Paul George. They act like they're going to do the pick and roll. They go to Paul George. They don't let it. So he just feeds it to Steven Adams. Still in the first quarter of game 2. This is him just running. Seals off the Enes Kanter. Gets an and one. Free throw shooting is terrible. He's below average on that, 50%. He is not going to be able to adapt to the current day and age. Is that, a lot of centers these days can shoot threes, let alone they can shoot free throws. And Steven Adams just does not shoot good free throws. So you can see this is the Thunder's first possession of the second half in game 1. I believe it's another set play to Steven Adams. And pick and roll to Russell Westbrook. Feed it to him. And nice soft touch at the rim. Next, you're going to see Oklahoma City's offense when they don't run the ball through Steven Adams and what Oklahoma City's offense looks like. You're going to see what I'm talking about, how Steven Adams is just non-existent, not aggressive whatsoever. It's in the third quarter, 3 minutes left. I don't know if Steven Adams is just gassed. He doesn't have any energy. He doesn't want the ball. The other players want the shots. I don't know what it is, but Steven Adams is right here. And you will see that he's just going to drop to this corner right here, and he just sits there the whole offensive play with his hands on his knees and doesn't do anything for the whole play. And a lot of one-on-one action when they don't go into Steven Adams. A lot of one-on-one action, a lot of quick shots. So when he's not standing the ball in the corner, if he's trying to battle for offensive rebounding position or whatever, the Thunder just come down and they shoot quick threes. Or quick shots. Quick one-on-one shots. That's two times right there. Russell Westbrook shot 2 quick shots with plenty of time. And I believe he comes and does it again. Or it's a quick pass to Paul George, and Paul George shoots it. Steven Adams has no time to set up. He doesn't even have time to call for him. But there he is, just standing in the corner. Paul George and Russell Westbrook just do a switch, and Russell Westbrook shoots the ball real quickly. Same thing on this one. There was still 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They get the offensive rebound. They're coming back at it again. They're going to actually run the pick and roll with Steven Adams. They try to get him the ball, but Steven Adams I don't know if Steven Adams just wasn't expecting it. He fumbled the ball, and it was a turnover. On this play, they do post him up, and it's when Steven Adams has no finesse moves. It's just pure power, and if he were to develop that, he could be so dominant. But you can see what happens if he just tries to bully his way in, and anytime someone stops him, he kind of just forced his way in. When he got stopped, he pushed off, it gets called for an offensive foul. Okay, so let's get into his defense. This is what the Oklahoma City's defensive possessions look like with Steven Adams. And the other team is going to run a lot of pick and roll to Steven Adams because he can't guard it. And in this series, Enes Kanter was supposed to be the guy that couldn't guard pick and roll. And it turns out that Steven Adams is also that way. So the very first play, they get the ball out to C.J. McCollum, and you're going to see Enes Kanter is going to try to set up the pick and roll for him. McCollum doesn't use it. He goes all the way to the corner. The pick follows. McCollum decides to use it, and Adams, on all of these first few plays, even Adams just stands back and he just lets the guard shoot. Watch. Just no space. He just gives him so much space. He needs to be hedging that to create some sort of... There's so much space. McCollum easily split that jump shot. These next couple, I think These next couple, I think they end up missing, but look how far back Steven Adams is. He's not even able to contest the shot. That's so frustrating. Now they missed it, but a lot of times, look, Lillard. For this play, you got Steven Adams is guarding his man and his Kanter right here. You're gonna see that C.J. McCollum is just going to drive straight to the basket, and Steven Adams doesn't even step up. Steven Adams should try to step up and try to contest that shot, provide some sort of help defense. Russell Westbrook is then responsible for Enes Kanter's man, or excuse me, for Steven Adams' man. He's responsible for trying to pick off the Enes Kanter pass because Harkless would be the open man. You'd much rather give up a 3 as opposed to a layup. I'd give up an open 3 as opposed to an open layup, that is. So as you can see that Steven Adams just stands here and he just lets the layup go anyways and doesn't even let these motions happen. No contest. On this particular play, you got Jeremy Grant who's guarding Enes Kanter. So you got Steven Adams was the trail guy. So he has to come pick up a 3-point shooter. It might be Aminu or Harkless. I think it's Aminu. Right here. Aminu's just gonna, I think, step to the corner. And same theory on this one. Kanter is going to just roll to the basket and spin off Jeremy Grant and have an easy layup opportunity. It's going to be Steven Adams' job when he's standing in this corner. Steven Adams will be in this corner. It's going to be his job to help and try to contest this layup. You're going to see Steven Adams not even contest the layup. He just not even looking. Didn't even look and see. Okay, on this next play, you got C.J. McCollum's kind of buried here in traffic. Steven Adams is right here. You got C.J. McCollum is going to kind of fake as if he is coming up here to get the ball off of that screen. But Steven Adams is just watching the movement. There's going to be a Steven Adams man is going to set a screen for C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum's just going to do a nice back door. Steven Adams should be stepping down and guarding C.J. McCollum until Terrence Ferguson can recover. It's called help and recover. Basic defensive strategies that you learn in middle school. Help and recover. You're going to see that Steven Adams is just going to stand there and watch the ball and decide not to do anything. No pump fake, no nothing. So it's not like they tried to even fake him out. Okay, you're going to see C.J. McCollum. You can probably see where he's about to go. Before I even tell you, he's crossing the ball over. He's going to take Terrence Ferguson to the hole that way. You got Steven Adams right here. If he's going to help, if he's going to play help, he needs to try to cut it off before C.J. McCollum gets to the rim. Steven Adams, all he's going to do is he's just going to keep his eyes right here on the action. What should happen as Steven Adams is helping Terrence Ferguson, you got one of his teammates, it's called help the helper. So he should be getting help on his man, which is not even in the screen yet. So there really shouldn't even be any action going on by Steven Adams. So he should already be planted, all right here, protecting the rim, not waiting for his man where he is. Go back and protect the rim. You're the big man. By standing there doing nothing, you're going to let the Trailblazers, guys that are coming down the field, sprint down the court, and you're going to see Steven Adams just get bullied out of the way, and they're not going to box out. Jeremy Grant is over on this side. He's not going to box out, and it's his guy. He's actually going to get the offensive rebound. Steven Adams very easily could have given up the offensive rebound. You're going to see all this action take place, and just Steven Adams just sits there. He gets bullied. Grant doesn't box out. Grant's guy gets the rebound. Out of bounds off the Thunder. Portland keeps the ball. So there you have it. That's my video. Steven Adams, the good, the bad, the ugly. Now look, I'm not saying Steven Adams is the sole reason that the Oklahoma City Thunder are struggling as a basketball team right now, but Steven Adams, I do believe that he is the best piece that the Thunder have on their roster to use as trade bait to get the highest return on their investment. Do I think that they should trade him right now? Absolutely 100% not. He just got exposed in that series. Nobody's going to want to even touch his contract. He's making something like $27 million a year next year, and he just looked like that in a first round playoff series. If it were me, play Steven Adams at the beginning of next year, get him back to where he looks good again, looks dominant. He's not going to, unless there's other major changes, he's not going to get to the averages that he should, because he's just not aggressive enough. And maybe it's a coach thing. Maybe the coaches are not putting him in the proper positions. Maybe they're not giving him enough touches, enough opportunities. But when you got Paul George and Russell Westbrook, that's probably true. He's not getting enough touches. But that doesn't mean that, every possession down that they should come and shoot threes with 20 seconds on the shot clock. It just shouldn't be that way. So maybe there should be a coaching change, and maybe that should happen. That might happen really soon as the next thing to happen, to be honest. But if nothing changes for the Thunder, it's going to be a fourth year next year of them being, knocked out of the first round. So something has got to change. Something major has got to change. I think it's going to start with the coach, and then it comes down to the players. Are they going to bring some people in, or are they going to start shipping some people out? And I think Steven Adams is probably one of the best pieces that we have to move. So until my next video, hope you guys are enjoying them. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.